1880 town and shit. Hope this music isn't copyrighted. Kind of creepy. So 1880 town in South Dakota. It's if you're going west, it's about 50 or 60 miles before Wall Drug, which is the other tourist attraction we're visiting today. Turns out that this wasn't an actual town, which I suspected, but I wasn't sure, because the buildings are all very authentic feeling and looking and smelling and creaking, and it's just that you feel the oldness of them. However, turns out all of these buildings were transported here from other places in South Dakota. So it's kind of a piece of history from all kinds of different towns that were here in the 1800s. And they brought it all here and reassembled it into a town. However, even knowing that, which does take a little bit of wind out of my sails, I would have liked an authentic town to know that there were people actually living here at one point. And because, it gives you the real sense of history. However, you still capture a lot when you go into these buildings and you see all the antiques and the way things likely were. Now, I realize because these were transported here, this is an interpretation of what life was like. But I'm willing to bet they did their homework and put it together in a manner befitting the 1800s. Plus, with the Dances with Wolves exhibits, it's worth the $12 in my book. The other criticism I would have is they were blaring the soundtrack to Dances with Wolves the whole time. So that's why I couldn't do much audio inside. So what you're watching now is just kind of me narrating over different parts of what I was doing in there. But that being said, I think it takes away from it. I generally like to have a little bit of silence when I'm exploring history or old places and all of that, because it allows your mind to focus more on, connecting with the past. Instead, I felt like I was watching Dances with Wolves again, and I left with a strange urge to watch Dances with Wolves. And it might have been a subliminal message going out over it. So maybe I'll do that one of these times while I'm out. But that was the only criticism I really had. Everything else was fairly well maintained. They didn't bother you. They let you just go do your thing, which I do appreciate. I like exploring things on my own. I like a presentation here and there, but I don't need that. I can kind of figure things out for myself, and that's part of the fun for me is exploring these places and trying to figure out the story behind them. And I really didn't figure out till the end when I asked that this wasn't an actual town, that it was just bits and pieces from towns all over South Dakota. Like Salem, I noticed the name of, and then there was Dry Creek School. So different towns apparently contributed all of this, which I guess I imagine a lot of these towns were not left intact for the most part. But it would be nice to go to an actual ghost town. If I find one in my travels, especially further west I go, I imagine there's going to be some ghost towns that I can explore. So I'm going to look into that a little bit. So I wasn't prepared for this. That scared the shit out of me. Although it's an interesting placement of that beer bottle. And apparently they had water bottles back in the day and soda cans. I wonder what this room was used for. Homestead, 1/4 mile. So now we get to see what real minimalism looks like. So I love stuff like this cultural stuff. You know, museums, that kind of stuff. I like seeing the way we lived long ago. And, you know, and it puts things in perspective for today. Like, you know, when I did all the Gettysburg Civil War stuff and all of that, I love that stuff. I like history because if we don't study history, we're doomed to repeat it. You can read into that however you want. But this era here in the Old West is the epitome of freedom. I mean, they sorted everything out on their own for a lot of the time. But, you know, it's just good to see where this country came from. You know, we definitely didn't get everything right back then, obviously. Sometimes we take for granted that we have things better than they did back in those days. Or some could argue maybe they had it better than we do. I'm damn sure they felt alive, though. There's been a lot of stagnation and staring at phones going on, you know? Tiny homes before they were cool. It's interesting that we've brought back this way of life, in a way, with our homesteading, minimalism, and tiny home shit. Looks like it was designed for you to be able to go in at one point, but yeah, there's room for a bed and a stove. And of course, tending crops and livestock happened over here probably. I don't know that contraption was part of the 1800s, but I could be wrong. And that looks like the shitter. Yeah, you know me. We gotta look at the shitter. You know, I'm only probably a quarter of a way. I mean, they got a train, they got all kinds of shit for you to look at here. And it was $12 to get in. And they just let me go to it. There's nobody here. Then again, I'm here like I was first in the gate. So if you like a people-free kind of wander around and do your own thing experience, get here at 7 a.m. sharp. That's when they open. But then again, they might have other like things. It looked like the saloon, they had some kind of presentation or show that occasionally happened there. The clothing store wasn't active yet. So, but I just happened to be driving by on my way to Wall Drug. Both of these things I've never done. I've driven by this I don't know how many fucking times, and I've never stopped. And now I regret that decision because I find it very interesting, you know, a good presentation of life in the 1800s. So, you know, and the stuff is legit artifacts. Everything definitely feels old in terms of the building structure, in terms of how it creaks. I've been in old buildings before, and these are definitely old buildings, so they probably are legit. I don't know. I mean, this would make sense for a town. But that being said, even if it isn't, the artifacts most definitely, you know, the antiques are all old. Now, as you saw, there are some things that are mixed in a little bit that might not be from the period. But overall, when I'm walking through, I get that feeling that, you know, I'm really looking at a part of history. And so I recommend it, and it's literally right off the highway. You know, a quick stop off, and, you know, a good way to spend a few hours. You could probably spend longer here. There's just so much to look at and read and look into things. And if you're a fan of Dances with Wolves, this should be on your list, because there's like a bunch of props, as you saw, and, you know, apparently that was filmed in this area. So there's that. I'm gonna continue looking through the town. I gotta go to the church next. Churches are always interesting to me. Bull's not looking at me friendly. I think I need a steak. If this doesn't tell you about our current situation with Big Pharma and how long we've been doing this kind of shit, I don't know what to tell you. Now those are legit. So this is how the propaganda went out before the interwebs. Thankfully, it reached people in a much slower manner than it does today. Old school playground or Wheel of Pain? You know, from Conan the Barbarian. Anybody? Anyways, let's go check out Wall Drug. Now, Wall Drug is a tourist trap. I've been well aware it's a tourist trap. I want to go see what it's all about, and I'll tell you guys what it's all about, or what at least my interpretation what it's all about. Might be, opinions may vary, but it's also kind of a famous nomad location now that they put it in Nomad Land. And it's literally right up the road from the scene they shot in Nomad Land on the Rim, where I've camped before and will be camping again. But yeah, let's go do more tourist shit and shit. It's a minefield. So, Wall Drug isn't my thing. You know, I do like cultural things, and I can have a good time with the rest of them. But this is, so far, I'm going to finish my looking around, but I have a funny feeling it's not going to change. There's a little bit to see. There's a little bit to say, oh, that's cool. You could take your picture with some weird, statues. And, overall, it was very quirky, I found. And it's there to sell you shit. I mean, it's literally like just wall-to-wall gift shops mixed with places to eat. So if that's your thing, then this is a good stop for you. Me, myself, I'm not a souvenir guy. I'll walk around in a store and see, oh, that looks good. Or if they're like individual arts and crafts and that kind of stuff. I like looking at it, but I'm not the kind of person typically that buys those things because I don't have much place to put them. I'm not I'm an experience seeker, not a material seeker. So there's really not much to buy. I don't need a souvenir. I do these videos and I take pictures if I want memories. I don't need a physical object to hold my memories. But if you do, there's plenty here for that. It's just not my thing. And the crowd was a little overwhelming. No variant fear here. You wouldn't even know anything was going on. Aside from the fact that there were parts of it. There was an art gallery. I was very interested in the art gallery, but it was closed for the season, it says. It says closed for season. I don't know that there's another season because we're right smack dab in the middle of Sturgis right now, so this would be a seasonal time for it to be open. But I'm betting by season they're referring to other things that have shut a lot of things down. But yeah, overall, Wall Drug, if you want to get something to eat and you want to buy some shit, it's good. As far as stuff to see and do, aside from a few things that might amuse some little kids, the arcade didn't seem to be open. I don't see a reason to spend your time here, honestly. But if that is your thing, you like tourist traps, you like gift shops, you like buying shit you don't need, and you know, so you can take it home and say, see, I was there, that's a place. This used to be like a running joke, this wall drug, because they put signs on the highway like every so many miles, free ice water, coffee and donut. For veterans, I think, is the free thing too. It's 5-cent coffees or something. I don't know. It's crazy. It was so fun that when I was in the military and deployed to Bahrain, we had a sign there that said however many thousand miles, wall drug, free ice water, however many thousands of miles we were away. So it's quirky. It's, if you like that kind of thing, it's a good stop. I'm still checking out. I just went through the main wall drug section, which is essentially like a weird mall, I would say. I mean, there's different stores selling different things. There was a camp and supplier and outfitter store, but they was still kind of more touristy than functional. But I'm gonna look around, see what else there is to see. But if you're like me and you want more cultural and experience oriented, you could probably skip this one. I could be wrong. I might have missed something. This is my opinion, so don't get pissed off at me if you love wall drug. It's just, it's not my speed. I like the 1880 town a hell of a lot more than this. And it was less crowded too, so there's that. And shit. But I gotta hide in my car for now. It's 91 degrees out, so it'll cool down a bit tonight. It went down pretty, was below 70 last night, so I'm hoping the same thing. Plus there's a lot of wind here. I might even put the screens in, since this is a camping area and no one gives a shit if you're sleeping in your vehicle here. But that's it for today. Sorry I didn't get into wall, but I even stopped and did laundry. They have a laundromat. So basically, everything you need is in this area, because it's this campsite is free for up to 14 days. It's a national grasslands. It's perfectly legal to be here for free, and you'll know it because you'll see a bunch of RVs and shit all chilling on this cliff. There's no facilities. It's carry in, carry out. You're not allowed to have a fire. But right down the road, 6 miles down the road, there's everything you need. There's a laundromat, there's grocery store, and there's hotels for those of you who don't want to do this shit. But I'm betting they're paying a hell of a lot more than I am. Well, I'm paying a couple bucks a night in gas to stay out here, particularly during the day to cool. So I'll probably be running the car most of the day, and maybe at night, depends on how things go. But I would like to actually just run with the screens at night tonight, hopefully. So next video coming up, I'm actually going to be filming it today, but I'm going to try and cook. I'm going to try and cook myself a meal in the car. I've got everything I need. The complicated thing is going to be trash disposal. It's going to stink up the car if I keep it in here all overnight, so I'll probably keep it outside and hope no animals come and get it. And then when it comes time to leave, I'll bring it in and then drive it up the road to the gas station and deposit it. But I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Is it going to be too much of a pain in the ass? Am I going to give in and just eat out the rest of the trip? Every other day, of course. I did successfully fast yesterday, so today is a food day, and I even had a snack earlier. I haven't eaten out today. All I spent essentially was the gas to drive, which was probably $5-10, something like that total. And I also spent the $15 or whatever it was to get into the 1880 town thing. But other than that, and $5 for laundry. I haven't spent any other money today, so, and got to do it that way. Especially if you do something that costs money, you should offset it with a day or two of not spending money. If you want to extend your time out here, that is. But I want to thank those of you who have supported this channel. You guys have been very enthusiastic about these videos and keeping me out here traveling, and I appreciate it. You know, I want to thank, I think she's okay with me saying her name, Amy, for her hospitality and talking to me. And her son has a YouTube channel. I'll link his YouTube channel down below. I haven't watched it yet, but it seems up my alley with, you know, self-improvement and life improvement. So go ahead and check out his channel. If you like it, please subscribe and ring his bell. Like I said, I haven't watched yet, so I don't know if it's a good channel or not, but that's up to you guys to decide. You know, don't just do shit based on my opinions. But I did have a good conversation there, and you know, and I look forward to meeting more of you as time goes on and I wander, because y'all know I periodically get the itch to do these kinds of things, and a lot of you have made this trip very fun and very encouraging, and given financial support as well, which helped a lot. So thank you for all of you who continue to support what I do. If you like this video and you want more shit, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, then right click the bell and fucking make sure you get all my notifications and shit. After the cooking video, which will be next on the list, I'll be heading to Rapid City, maybe Deadwood. Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm going to do Badlands again. But I'm not going to do a huge video this time because I already did one a year ago, I think it was. So go and check that out if you want the full whammy. This is going to be more kind of a highlight reel and maybe a few pictures, because I do have a better camera with me this time than I did during that last time. So I'm going to try and focus more on photography for this next section, which is going to be hard to do because I don't know if you notice, it's very hazy. And the reason it's hazy is the Canadian wildfires. This is all smoke. This is not like natural to this area. It's usually, you could see as far as the eye could see. Unfortunately, the air quality is down a bit, and I'm probably getting lung cancer just sleeping here. But, you know, can't make an omelet without breaking some fucking eggs. You know, don't worry about the Delta instead of the smoke inhalation. So there's that. So yeah, I'll do Badlands, then I'm gonna head to Rapid. Thursday I'm going to Buffalo Chip. Gonna go to a concert there, so I'm spending a night in a party campground atmosphere. It'll be interesting to see if I can blend this fucking Prius in there, especially since the majority of people there are bikers and probably look at the Prius as not so flattering light. But other than that, once I leave, probably around Friday or so you're probably watching this like after the fact, I'll be heading west towards Yellowstone. That'll be my next destination. I don't plan on meandering too much between here and Yellowstone because I am burning a lot of time here in South Dakota just because I love the state. I love the freedom. I love the attitude of everyone, that they leave you alone. They're not in your business. And, you know, I like the freedom here, you know, to do your own thing, have your own opinion. And it seems to be just fine, no matter what your opinion is. There's lefties here, believe it or not, you know, and I'm not a lefty or a righty, but I know some of you think this is just the bastion where there's no, like, left-leaning people. That's not true. There's people here that are, but those people still, because of the way things are here, respect another person's right to have their own opinion, and they don't, you know, get out of hand like they do in some of these more brainwashed cities. So there's that. That's enough of that shit. Have a nice motherfucking day. Head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com, sign up for my free email list, and I'll notify you when I go live or when I'm going to do a premiere or anything like that. And you can also leave a tip in the virtual tip jar if you'd like to contribute to this, you like what I've done. Or you can go to the store and purchase my music album, The Middle Life. If you like my music at all, you might have heard a little bit here and there throughout my videos. It's not all music from the album, by the way. Some of it are new songs that I'm working on for the next album that I put out, which will probably be after this like a couple weeks after I get back to New York. I'll work on getting that second album done. But in the meantime, I'm going to live in my car on a cliff, which hopefully is a stable cliff. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night to a mudslide or whatever, and down I go. Feels stable. It's not shaking or anything.